So, what's up, everybody? This is Big Corleone, host of This My Her podcast, coming to you live from from wherever you want us to be live from. You know how it is. Let me bring in my lovely co-host, Lady G. Lady G, what's good?
Hey, what's going on? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too. How was your week?
It was great. It was
It
a
was good.
short week.
Yeah, right. It's pretty short.
Yeah.
So now that the holiday season is in full swing, now that I guess everybody's out there cooking and preparing for tomorrow, and everybody's gonna be with whoever they're gonna be with. So blessings to everybody out there for the holiday, and you know, it's gonna be a day of football, Stranger Things, and food. You can't argue with that. Food, family, and football.
Yes, I can.
The three F's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so let's uh let's tackle what it is your family traditions are for this holiday. Or matter of fact, you know what? Let's not even talk about current family traditions. What are the traditions you remember growing up that you shared with your family?
Eating. Me?
Yeah. You. Yeah, you.
Um, well, for the longest time, we all used to gather at my aunt's house. She lived on a farm, and we would all go over there. Um, but people in the family start passing away, and then you realize they were actually the glue that held everything together.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, as we lost like my mom, my grandparents, um, those traditions started to dwindle. Uh, but that's what we did for the longest time. We all gathered at my aunt's house together as a family. We had the
Right.
kids' table, the adults' table. We played board games. The guys would watch football. Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I remember it growing up. Um, we had Thanksgiving at grandma's house. Everybody would go there. The kids would be running around. Grandma still be, cooking her food, and we'll sit there, we'll eat. The guys are watching the football games. Kids are running around acting crazy. Grandmother's smacking the shit out of everybody, like, chill out. You know, um, but then after she passed away, like you said, sometimes family tends to, you know, scatter and do their own thing.
Yeah.
Then once my mom passed away, it was like a free for all. Everybody just ran off, and that's just how it was.
Yeah.
To me it's not really, you know hello Heather, how are you? um Nowadays it's a lot different because you don't have that family unity much anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's all around the board.
Yeah, I think it's just that we everybody grows, families grow, and you grow apart sometimes, and that's the thing that really that sucks about it, because I grew up having and spending these holidays with my cousins, and it's it's not like that anymore.
No.
Yeah, you grow, your cousins grow, they have their own families, they start their own traditions, and things just don't They don't. It's just not the same anymore, and
Yeah,
it
and I
sucks.
think social media and telephones kind of played into that as well because people don't interact the way they used to.
Right.
And because, now we're in this cancel culture, um, when people disagree, they don't work things out anymore. They just tend to not show up. So
Yeah.
people stop talking to each other. And then, again, because of the social media era and the cancel culture nowadays, they rarely ever get back together.
Yeah. I think also it has to do like what you said a lot with family drama.
Yeah.
Nobody
But
wants
there's
to
always,
communicate.
but the thing is, there's always been family drama. Actually, once upon a time, it wasn't a family holiday unless someone got into a fight, somebody had an argument, somebody said something out of pocket, but it was like you dealt with it at the time and you moved on, but it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
People, get so sensitive they allow it to ruin, you know, the rest of your lives. And it wasn't always like that. People would get mad, they do what they got to do for a little bit, and then they come back together. Um, I was talking to my father recently, and we were talking about stuff just like that. Even if you didn't like each other, you were always family. You were always made to connect, made to be together, even if you weren't getting along at the time. You know, you still did it for the sake of family, because it's what you do. But
Right.
anymore, it's not. It's not.
Yeah. And it's kind of like I remember growing up Thanksgiving morning, me and a bunch of guys would get together and go play football, turkey
Mm,
bowl football. Can't that was a tradition growing up as a kid. We go play Thanksgiving Day football
yeah,
at the field. Then after that, we come home, shower, what I'm saying, get dressed, and go where we had to go. Go to wherever family we were going to if we weren't staying home and my mom was doing something at home. And then after that, after eating, there'd be the Godzilla marathon on Channel 5. You know what I'm saying? And then we're watching Godzilla all damn day. So, it's hard. It's really hard for some people who don't have, you know, much family left.
yeah,
To all and to all you people out there listening that are gonna be either alone or, you know, just don't have the family connections that you used to have. You're not alone. You know what I'm saying? Just keep in mind that, it's not your fault. It's people just don't want to get together no more,
yeah.
you know?
Well, I mean, I look at even me. Well, it's been this way as long as I can remember now. You know, my daughter, I still have to alternate holidays with her father.
Right.
Um, and this year I have her for Thanksgiving, but it's just me and her. I used to have Thanksgiving here at my house, but
Right.
people stopped coming. So now, I'm actually cooking, but I'm cooking for two people, you
Uh,
know. So there is no family, there is no friends. There's just me and her.
damn.
Yeah. But you have to remain happy and enjoy what you have and the time. And I'm happy it's going to be me and her. We're still going to have our traditional food, and we're going to be eating it. We're going to be freezing it because we're going to be eating it for a long time. But we still, this is my family now. This is what it consists of, and so that's good. you know
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm gonna be very fucking straight up and honest here. You know who I'm spending Thanksgiving with?
Your dog?
My dog,
Yeah,
Ivy. Right,
you with
Ivy.
your
It's just
daughter, me with mine.
you know what I'm saying. Me and Ivy. She's looking at me right now, like, "What are you talking about, bro?" But me and Ivy are gonna be chilling
Yeah,
tomorrow. Um, I'm 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 gonna cook some food, and I'm just gonna you know do what I do:
yeah,
food, Ivy, and football. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It is what it is. Like I think about it, and I'm not mad. I'm not
yeah,
upset. Because like I said, everybody grows and builds, has their family, and they build their own traditions. So I can't be upset. But you know
but
it
it
is
can
what
be
it is.
lonely sometimes. Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Let me see. Heather says she will be in Alaska chilling in her truck. Nebraska. I said Nebraska, right? I don't even know
No,
what
you
the hell I
said
said.
Alaska.
Alaska. Nebraska. She'll be in Nebraska chilling in her truck.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
she be on the road. She's a truck driver.
Oh, snap.
Oh shit. So yeah, it's tough, but you know, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So now to get off the topic of that, to get off that topic, I have an email here from someone, and I'm gonna let me fold this because the lights are going through it. Let me fold it up. Then I'll have to flip it when I'm done with that line. All right. First email of the night. My name is Nikki Dillpickle. Nah, just kidding. It's just Nick. I'm 45. I have a question and also need some advice. I'm on a dating app, and I think I'm a fairly handsome guy. And every so often I get a couple likes. But when I do, I like to chat with those that send them. So, or some reply, but most don't. I don't get why they send likes if they're not going to reply. But anyway, the ones that do reply, I tend to chat with, and then some of them fall off and fade for some reason. So I started, all right, so I started chatting with this woman who seemed to be into me. We exchanged numbers and continued to text and have some phone conversations. We even video chatted once or twice. She lives about an hour from me. We seem to be getting along, but now I'm noticing a shift. Less text, won't won't commit to setting a day to meet, and never knows when she has off of work. I sent a text yesterday evening and a couple of times today and have yet to get a reply. First off, I hope she's okay. But you're telling me that she hasn't used her phone since yesterday? I'm not an idiot. I know that in this age of social media, women have their phone in hand often. I think she's an attractive woman and I think we clicked, but now I don't know what the deal is. Should I just stop texting and move on, or should I try once more to reach out? I would like a guy's as well as a woman's perspective on this. You guys and girls are great. By the way, thanks, Nick.
All right.
Yeah, so let's start off with the woman's perspective because he's texting a woman and she's not replying. What do you think about what he said?
All right. So I can really only speak about my experiences and what I think. Again, this day and age, we've made things less meaningful, right?
Hmm.
So everything is very laissez-faire, very casual. So women have gotten into the habit because they often get hurt, in these situations. So a lot of women have learned to match energies, right? So and people are very different now than they used to be because there's not that connection. So personally, it depends on how the conversation's going. I mean, if the conversation, you talk every day, but it's, hi, how you doing? Good morning. What are you up to today?
Hmm.
After a while, for certain people, that gets old. If you guys aren't really having a conversation about anything, um, then that one is a sign. Two, what is the energy? Because the truth of the matter is, men are naturally hunters and gatherers. So whether guys these days like it or not, they're really supposed to, not supposed to, but they're really natural pursuers. you know they see something they like, they're hunting, so they go after that, right? And women, are supposed to kind of meet you there, kind of match your energy. So me personally, I'm a little bit more old school. We don't talk a whole lot, but most of you know that, I'm a woman of faith. And so in my way of living, I've spent so much time being the person in charge, the one making decisions, the one initiating things, that I really am trying to get back to basics. So when I connect with somebody online, now, mind you, people are liking left and right. And I totally understand. And they're doing it based on what people look like. People aren't even reading each other's profiles. So they're just swiping left and right based on what the person looks like, if they're finding attraction to the physical attributes, then they're reaching out. So it should be a natural, you like me, so now I decide either I'm going to like you back or I'm going to write to you, right? But it should be a back and forth type of thing.
Right.
um but also, if it's not an engaging conversation for one party, then that conversation is going to fall off. um a good example, I was texting somebody back and forth, and then it was just kind of like every couple days he'd hit me back. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, so this is going to be a every couple days type of thing. It's not even going to be a daily thing. um I guess whenever he got a chance. So it's like, the longer you make a woman wait, the less interested she becomes. So I got it in my head like, okay, this is going to be every couple days. Already, I know that in a relationship, that's not what I want. So I've already made up my mind that even if me and this guy are friendly or we get along, it's not going to really be much of anything. It's not going to develop into anything because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking, for me, if somebody can go 24 hours without having a conversation with me or hearing my voice or talking, then to me that makes me feel like, okay, well then you're not really interested. Because when a man is interested in somebody, they're going to make sure that they talk on a daily basis because they want to know what's going on with you, you know? So they are going to do that pursuing thing. So then finally, after like months of the random conversations, he finally asked for phone number. So I give the phone number. Because I mean, at least now I know him well enough to know that he's not a danger.
Hmm.
But then what happens on the phone conversation is every other word that came out of his mouth was cursing. And to me, like, and when we were writing each other, not once did he do that. But now we're having these conversations and this foul language is just shooting off everywhere. So for me, it took me a little bit further away from the possibility because it's like, that's not something I want in my life. And I'm a very straightforward type of person. Very, I don't try to hurt people or do any of that kind of stuff. But I do let people know if I don't feel like this is something, you know, that I move forward or things like that, and I make it very clear that, you seem like a nice person and I think we can be good friends, but I don't see this turning into anything more than just this. And believe it or not, the more people who do that, the less time you're wasting. But again, we have made dating and love and intimacy and sex, we've made it so casual that now you can just go to the corner and find all of those things.
Well, I'm not
um
going to the corner to look for a sushi, so I don't do that.
but that's you. That's not a majority of the
Right,
people.
right, right.
That's not a
I
majority.
get it.
And that's, what, Corleone, that's probably why we're still single. Because
We don't go to the corner looking for sushis and
no,
sushios.
because again, I was actually talking to somebody about this. We have a different level of standard, right? So we've spent so much time learning and getting hurt and learning lessons and all these things that finally, we start doing this work on ourselves. Um, and hopefully, everybody gets to a point where they realize who they are, what they want, what they don't want, right? The problem is, um, even culturally, people, I can only really speak for Latino men, in our culture. Um, for so long, the idea of a partner had nothing to do with love. It was about not being alone, not, um, Latin men, hardly ever do you find them not living with someone, not in a relationship with somebody, not married to somebody. Like, sometimes men just don't know how to be alone. And some women too. There are women too. But people have got this in their mind that they can't be by themselves. And so while you're not spending time with yourself, you're not learning about yourself, you're failing to be self aware. You're failing to learn your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you actually bring to the table for somebody. So unless you can take that opportunity to do work on yourself, how can I be good for somebody else if I don't even know how to be good for myself? If I don't even know myself, how am I going to be able to tell somebody, these are my expectations, these are my needs, and these are my wants, right? Because those are three different things.
Right.
If I don't spend that time figuring that out for me, how am I going to be able to give that to somebody else? So, I talk a lot about how people always calling me too much, right? And the truth is, you know what? Actually, it was a conversation I was having with my youngest daughter when I asked her, I said, "Am I asking for too much?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then so I had to think about that for a second. I'm like, "Really?" Because in my eyes, I'm actually just asking for the bare, like the
She don't seem
small,
to think so.
the basic. Think so
Yeah.
what?
She don't seem to think you're asking for a little.
I don't either. I'm asking for basic, right?
Right.
I'm asking for basic, but as I was talking to my daughter, she clarified it for me. She said, "No, mom, I don't think you're asking for too much in general. What I think is the people that you're meeting or the people that are attracted to you don't have that capacity. You're asking too much from them because you're asking for something that they can't give you. So for them, it's too much." She said, "But in general, no, I think you're asking bare minimum." And so
Hmm.
I thought about that and I was like, you know what? I am. So that kind of solidified my thing because I have a certain standard, right? And the funny thing is, the more you respect and care for yourself, the less you're going to put up with other people's junk, the
Right.
shenanigans.
The
You know,
shenanigans.
yes, the shenanigans. You are just not going to put up with somebody who values you less than you value yourself, right?
Really, really quick before you continue, I just want to just
Yeah, go ahead.
say happy Thanksgiving and hi to Amanda because she said she hopes you have a great Thanksgiving.
Hey, Manda, you too.
And then Jessica said, "Hey, Big C, Lady G, what's up?" I waved, say, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? How you been? Everything is cool." And we got one other message. There's nothing on it. And then this one, you're asking the wrong one for the right things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Exactly.
You can go. You can come. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to
No,
reply to
no,
some
that's
of the.
okay. Because see, I can't see that little writing. You can.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like basic is look at what you're bringing to the table, right?
Hmm.
And I'm talking basic. Like we before, like a long time ago, we talked about basic needs.
Right.
How do you expect to feel safe and secure when your basic needs of like sustenance, roof over your head, and safety are not happening, right? So if you don't have a safe place to lay your head, if you are not able to feed yourself every day, if you're lacking the basic needs and necessities, you can't go up to that higher level of now let's talk about safety and security. Now let's talk about self-respect. If you don't even have the basic needs met, how are you going to go up, right? So for me, the basic is I know what I have done in my life to get where I am, right? And
Right.
so that means at a minimum, anybody that I'm going to let into my life or even to approach me to go on a date, one, you do have to have a vehicle. Why? Because I have one. You have to have a job. Why? Because I have one. You have to have a place to live. Why? Because I do. Now, the preference is because everybody has different circumstances, so you can't really judge, you know, until you know the circumstances. But even as a single parent who struggles, have my head above water, I still have my own home. I'm not living with five, six different people. My mother has been passed away for 20 something years, so there's no mom, no grandma. There is nobody in my life to live with. So I have to either find a way to make it on my own or be homeless, right? So the thing is, people don't work on themselves just to not have the same thing offered to them, right? So we don't have to be the same, but we at least have to come with the same type of tools because how do you actually build on something if you come with no foundation,
Mm.
you know?
So all right, say what you just said one more time.
How can you build something if both of you don't come with a foundation?
Right. So with that being said, what if the foundation needs to be built together?
But see, well, depending on your age, if you're in your 20s, I can say wholeheartedly yes. But at yours and my age, Corleone,
Hmm.
you have to have your own foundation, right? We can build something together. But how are we going to build something together if I'm the only one that comes with a foundation and you're just coming, with sand? Like that doesn't mix,
Sand.
because yeah,
Sand. I
yeah.
mean, so you could
It's
build a
an
foundation with sand? I'm
not
just,
if not if mine's made of rock.
I get it. I'm just trying to make a
Yeah,
joke,
like yeah,
but
but
look at
but this is a sit. But
look at what Courtney says real quick. I think it goes to what you were saying about energy.
go ahead.
No, no, you can't read it.
I can't read it. It's too
Oh,
small.
all right. So many people are trying to find the ideal match, but aren't willing to put in the work to match the energy of the people they're trying to date.
Exactly. Exactly. People are asking for loyalty, honesty, um, effort, affection, right? But they themselves are not willing to give that. They want all of these things for them, but they're not putting in the work to actually be that for somebody else. And
Hmm.
that's the thing. When you think about what am I looking for, you also have to ask yourself, do I also provide that? Right? So we're going to go back to the age old lately what's been happening about men talking about women being in their masculine energy and more men acting like women, right? Because everybody's trying to one up each other, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, like I said at the beginning of this conversation,
Gotta be
And
willing
you
to give what you want to take.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what
And
she
you
said.
also, and if you're asking for something, you also have to be willing to accept what comes with that. So how do you want a strong woman but don't expect her to have a strong character? Cuz what builds strong people is pain, experience, loss. That's what builds strong people. Is failure that they have had to come overcome time and time again. Because if you never fail, you never grow. And because people get hurt one time nowadays and then all of a sudden they want to give up forever, they're robbing themselves of the opportunity to find exactly what it is that is meant for them. And the thing
Courtney
is, people,
said.
go
Courtney
ahead.
said, "A fucking men."
I hear you, Courtney. Yeah. So it's like if I'm asking for certain things from a man, I also have to be willing to match that. Right. So, like I said, I have a strong character. I've heard time and time again that I am emotionally intense. Now, the emotionally intense is more like a passion, right?
Hmm.
Because I guess I could be considered a serious person, but people want to go through life on the surface. They don't want to have the hard conversations because they're uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's where we go wrong. When
Now,
we,
what do the hard conversations usually consist of?
okay, those hard conversations are, how do you spend money? How, what are your values? How do you see raising kids? Or if you have, at our age, if you have grown kids, what is your view of how much you help your grown kids? Because there are some people who are like, oh, my grown child can come back home and live with me as long as, if they're trying to get their life together. Right. But are you enabling them or are you just helping them? Right. Because
Right.
how do you expect somebody comes into your life and you guys get married, you live together, whatever it may be. This person is here with you and everything has to be communication. But if you're someone who is always going to allow everybody to move in with you, how much time are you actually going to have with your significant other if all you do is help everybody else, right? So, so it's like you got to decide where your things are. But these hard conversations are the conversations about what is your history? Like, do you come from a background of abuse? Do you come from a background of need? Not that they should be bringing all of those unhealed baggages with them, but all of us come with baggage. All of us have history. And it's not okay to expect that somebody is not going to struggle with their past experiences because a lot of us know we carry those things in us. Now, it's okay to remember them. We just can't live there, right? So are you healed from the things that you've came from, right? And if you're healed, it doesn't change that these things were still your experiences, but you want to have a partner who's going to understand that and do the best they can. They can't solve it for you. They can't heal it for you. You have to heal it yourself, but they can support you while you're doing that, right?
Right.
But we don't do that. We do this trauma bonding thing. So it's like, oh, well, they know what I went through and they kind of went through the same thing. Yes, but you might be healed and they're not. So what's going to end up happening is that person's going to drag you back to your past and start triggering you all the time. And then it just becomes this toxic, back and forth type of relationship.
Hmm.
Or if you're lucky, you'll rub off on them with the healing and they'll want and try to get better.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky in a perfect world that we don't live in, that then that's what's going to happen. But I think that's why people see me as too much and I'm okay with that because I've done the work on myself. By no means am I perfect. Not at all. I'm far from it. But I am open to learning new things. I am open to hearing other people's point of view. I'm open to criticism, right? It's got to be constructive. So
Hmm.
don't just come at me with the problem, but let's come up with a solution, or offer me a solution, right? So I'm always open to hearing, always, and I'm open to hearing how what I'm doing or saying affects other people, because I can respect other people's feelings. I can agree to disagree, but we've stopped. Everybody's about themselves now, right? So it's like, well, if it doesn't match me, then I don't want it, right? So, like, our listener said, we stop trying to do the work that it takes, because no relationship is perfect, and anything worth having requires work to achieve it and to maintain it.
Courtney said, if you're too much, then they can go find less.
I said that. Yeah, I said that a while ago. Because when they do tell me that, I'm like, you know what? I say that I am too much. So you can go ahead and find less for yourself, because I have hurt, healed, come through it all. And again, my faith is what helps me to continue to be the strong woman that I am. Um, so I refuse. I refuse, especially because I'm only asking for bare minimum to begin with.
Right.
And the bare minimum is honesty, respect, transparency, just what the basic standards people should have. Like, I'm not going to just sit around and keep accepting the fact that you're not a person of your word. Like, again, I used to think I was the problem until I realized, no, I just did the healing, and those people are not healed yet. They're not ready yet. They want the side. Everybody wants the side piece. They want the easy thing. Well, I don't want what's easy, because I want something that lasts. So that means I'm going to take my time. I'm going to put in the work that's necessary. I'm going to hope that they want the same thing. And I'm going to be patient, because the truth is, I can do bad all by myself. So if I don't take my time, if I don't get to know somebody first, rushing into it is not going to help me. It's not going to help them. And it might put me in a worse situation. People are not being smart just because they're lonely. And loneliness motivates people to get themselves into these situationships. And honestly, to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I I was married 16 years. Emotionally, physically, I'd say even financially. Other than the fact that I don't have the other income, um, I'm doing better on my own than I ever did when I was married. And I
Mm.
have and I have one third the money I had when I was married. It's about what I'm doing to help build myself, to help myself be worthy of somebody that I want in my life.
Courtney says it gets hard being patient.
Oh, I know it's so. It's been 6 years for me, Courtney. 6 years I've been on my own. And not one day has been easy. So I truly understand. I understand. But again, as lonely as it is, right? Lonely passes. Chaos and trauma don't. I would rather be lonely and happy and at peace than to be constantly fighting with someone, feel like I'm less than, um, struggle taking care of somebody else that's supposed to want to be taking care of me. So, in reality, I don't need anyone to take care of me. But as a woman, as the woman that I am, I want somebody who wants to take care of me. There are just these natural ways that men and women are. And we need to get back to those basics. I'm not talking about gender roles or any of that. Again, men are solution focused, hunters and gatherers. They go after what they want. And I have seen that proven time and time again. Women are nurturers, women are detail oriented. We need to know the what, when, where, why, and how of things. We need to have the details. We need to, have explanations. Not every woman's like that, but we're the nurturers. You give us something, we multiply it. The man brings home the money, we use it to
Go do your
build.
nails and toes and shit like
No, no,
that.
no,
And
no, 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 not no.
I'm just playing.
I hope you're just playing because that would be a very.
Yeah, I'm just goofing. I know what's going on.
Yeah, that should be the extra. That should be you do that because you want to do that for her.
Right.
Um,
See,
but
you wouldn't have to go to a nail salon. I do that shit all in the crib, all by myself.
yeah, okay. Don't think so. No, but it's like you love a woman, she multiplies that love. You provide the woman a house, she makes it a home. You give her love, she turns it into, nurturing and caring. You bring home the money, and the woman goes shopping and brings food, right?
Right.
You bring food, she makes a meal. Like these are not the expectations, these are just naturally what women do. And when a woman feels safe, secure, love, intimacy other than just physical sex, you would be surprised at how open she becomes, how
Right.
loving and accepting and caring she can be. But when we're constantly having to do for ourselves, pay our own bills, get our own nails done, get our own hair done, cut our own grass, clean our own house, like do all these things, then what do we need the guy for if he's not willing to do any of these things?
You're
You
right.
know,
You see, a dude like me, like I love doing the laundry. I love cooking. I love cleaning. I love doing all that shit.
all right. And a woman like me, I love to cook, but I'm not big on laundry and cleaning. I mean,
So
I'll
there you
do it,
go.
but they're
It's a
not
team
my
effort.
strengths.
It's a
Yeah,
team effort.
they're not my strengths. And that's the way it should be, a team effort. It shouldn't be, well, you have to cook and you have to clean and no. Find out what each other's strengths and weaknesses are. Um, because you know what? Certain people have certain expectations. And when you come in with expectations, you may lose out on the best thing.
Courtney
What?
said Big C knows how to treat a lady.
I don't know about that.
And this one says misery loves company, and that's not the company I'm willing to keep around no
No,
more.
it's not. Again, if I want to be miserable, I can do that sitting right here on my couch all by myself. I don't need nobody else taking up my space, eating my food, sleeping in my bed, or causing me drama.
Word.
I do what I want, go where I want. If I don't want to come home, I don't have to. Um, those are things I would love to do. I do want to share my life with someone. but
Right.
I'm not but I'm not willing to sacrifice my feeling of safety, security, peace, calm, you know? Like I'm not willing to sacrifice that anymore. And unfortunately, it took a long time. It took my late 40s to finally get to that place to realize like being alone does not feel half as bad as it does being in a relationship where you feel alone, or being in a relationship where you feel unloved or unimportant, because people will tell you whatever they want to get what they need. But when you stop giving them what they want and start, standing on the boundaries, start
Right.
standing, matching that energy. Huh, you'd be surprised how many people take themselves right
Well,
out of
check
your
check
life.
this out. I do what I want with restrictions, respectable restrictions.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, that's why people call me a prude. Because they're like, oh, well, why don't you send me this? Oh, no, 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 no. We will not be doing that.
Right.
Because, yeah, because you have to have self respect at the end of the day. And, and you know what? My father asked me not too long ago what that looked like, right? And so I plainly said to him, if you're doing anything in your life that you would want to hide from anybody else, like even public, total strangers, then you might want to think twice about doing that then. Because I think I had shared a story where we went to a store one night and I had taken him out for Father's Day. He had 4 glasses of wine while we were out. But then we went to the supermarket and he saw a pretty girl at the cash register. And so I guess to seem like he was romantic and whatnot, he, out loud said to me, "Hey Trish, why don't we go to the liquor store and buy a bottle of wine?" Now, me just being a daughter, I turned around and was like, "What? Pop, you just had 4 glasses of wine." And then he gave me this look like he was about to kill me. And as soon as he said that, it almost like just like that, it dawned on me what he was saying.
Right.
Just by He was trying to make it look like he hadn't had anything to drink. And the fact that I looked at him and was like, dude, you just had 4 glasses of wine, embarrassed him.
Mm.
Because then this pretty girl would know that he's already had 4 glasses of wine and now he's talking about getting a bottle of wine. So it makes him look like he's a lush or an alcoholic, right? So when he said something to me outside the store, and I said, Pop, you are a grown man. If you want to have 6 glasses of wine, 6 bottles of wine, that's your prerogative. But
Right.
I tell you this, if you drinking 4 glasses of wine causes you embarrassment, if somebody else knew that, then maybe you need to think about how much wine you drink. And people can't seem to wrap their head around that because I tell people, I practice what I preach, right?
Right.
There is nothing in my life that I do, talking about the self-respect part. There is nothing in my life that I do that I would be ashamed or embarrassed if somebody else knew. Cuz I live my life the way I want people to see me, the way, I want people to trust me. I want people to believe me. So I
Right.
live a trustworthy, believable life. So it's like if you want something, you need to be putting that out into the world. You need to be that person,
Right.
And as a Leo, I can't stand fake. I can't. I feel these fake vibes from people, and I'm like, I'd rather you not speak to me than to smile at me in my face and not really feel that way. I see people are saying stuff. What are they saying,
Yeah, hold
Corleone?
on. I'm gonna tell you right now. This one says free will is a thing. I can be out there
Yeah,
slinging D like crack in the 80s, but for what? Been there, done that. Once upon a time,
yeah,
it was easy and fun during the toxic phase, but it's energy. I'm not swapping soul ties no more.
yep.
That lingers with you after it's all
Amen.
said and done.
Amen.
And
And
then
people, go ahead.
and then it says STDs are real.
Oh, yes, they are.
Besides the sexual part of the spiritual transmitted disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people don't want to think about those things in the moment. The flesh is weak. When you've been alone for a long time and somebody starts showing you attention and starts, saying sweet nothings, that can definitely cause someone to want to give in. The funny thing is, I'm the total opposite. If I just met you and you're love bombing me, like how beautiful I am, how nice I am, how caring I am, that's a red flag for me because that's not naturally how good things start, you know.
Right.
I'm not gonna say what culture, but there's a certain culture that it's like as soon as you meet them, they're calling you uh cariño, corazón,
You
honey.
already put it out there just by saying it in Spanish.
Uh, no, I didn't. Hey, if you
If you
know, you
know, you
know.
know.
If
Yep.
you know, you know,
If
but
you
I'm
know,
not
you
going to
know.
say it. So it's like as soon as they start talking that stuff, I look at them like, already, I've cut you off because there is no way in God's green earth that you just met me maybe a week, right? And all of a sudden you're telling me that I'm what you've been looking for. That's
Right.
BS. That is
Right.
absolute BS. Because there are those hard conversations that we haven't even had yet.
Right.
Let me tell you something. You could be banging, you could be smoking hot, you could drive the right car, have the right job, know what to say, buy this, buy. You can do all of those things. But if you don't meet my deeper needs,
You said 90-Day Fiance.
yes, exactly. Exactly. So
Oh
it's,
shit.
and so you have to know what you value. Like for me, it my first thing, my foundation thing is if you don't have a relationship with God,
Hmm.
for me that's the minimum for me. That's the bare minimum.
But to you, what's a relationship with God, though? I mean, everybody
It's
looks.
not that, but that's what I'm saying. Hear what I said. I said a relationship, not knowing he exists, not just believing in him. Like you have to actively walk with him every day. Like you have to be pursuing and living a life of respect, not just for yourself, but for others, of kindness, like not just going out there hurting people on purpose. Um, you can't be just breaking the law all over the place. I mean, there are those things. I'm a rule follower, so it's like I won't break the rules. I might bend them a little bit because we're human. We bend
Hmm.
rules. But no, I'm not breaking the rules. Like I'm not gonna just absolutely go out there and start stealing things just because I see it.
And
I'm
reading the
not.
Word.
Yes. Did somebody say that?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Mr. Sanchez says, and reading the Word.
Amen, Mr. Sanchez. Like, and there are a lot of people, and again, I don't knock anybody's faith. I don't knock anybody's level of relationship, okay?
Hmm.
Because everybody is at a different point in their relationship, in their walk, in their life, right? But it's one thing to say, I believe in God, I believe He exists, and something else to understand that sex before marriage is looked down on, right? So it's like you said, reading your word. How are you going to be close to somebody if you're not reading the word that leads you to them, right? So for me, like I said, my absolute minimum is you at least have to want to have a relationship with him. Not like I said, not just believe and not just know that he exists. Because I think everybody in the world knows or believes in something, right?
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, like we grow up. We are all taught at some point in our life to believe in God, to pray to God, but what does that mean? Like what does that really mean to you? I know people who say they believe in God, but I bet you this, if they walked into a church, they'd go up in flames,
Yeah.
you know? So again, nobody has to, they don't have to be on my level. And believe me, I don't like fanatical people either, where it's like you can't even have a conversation with them without them pointing out every little thing about what you're doing wrong. But you have to want to be living a certain path, you know?
Right.
Um, so, and I know we don't do religion on here. So it's like, I don't want to, go too far into that. But for me, that's the bare minimum. So, like I said, you could look hot as I don't know what. You could have everything physically that I want. You could have a great job, great car. But if you do not have that relationship, I have to pass you by
Mm,
because that's something important for me. That's something that has held me together my whole life. And like I said, the other things are what is your life situation? Because truly, and you tell me, Corleone,
mhm.
if you're in your mid 40s, early 50s, and you are still on the struggle bus, do you really think that that's going to change?
No,
No. That
no,
is
uh,
that is your trajectory. Again, you ain't got to be rich, you ain't got to, own 5, 6 cars, none of that stuff, but it's like it's one like okay, so my head's above water. That doesn't mean I don't struggle,
right.
you know? I think most of us are in that head above water.
But but the
Just
but then think I sometimes I think of it like I look at it this way, right? Like no, some people feel like by the time you get into to this age, to our age, the salt and pepper age, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, you should have your shit together, right?
You
There
should
should
have it at
be
least
right, at least
85% together.
right, 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 right.
Like,
Because
look at you, Corleone. And you've talked about it a lot of times. You were in this long term relationship. Yes, people have setbacks, they have struggles. And you talk about struggling sometimes in different ways,
right.
but for the most part, you still have your stuff together. You got
Mm-hmm.
your you got your little girl, dog, you got your kids, your grandkids, you've got a place to live, you know, you work, you do the best that you know how. You're not
Right.
coming broken and homeless and sleeping on people's couches. Cause you know what? Not for nothing, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, but at the same time, I am. If you are 50 years old and you are still couch surfing, you're not for me. I'm sorry, because that shows me that you want no consistency, no security. Like, and I talked about this before too. My father, who just recently, last couple years, came back into my life, is 78 years old, and this is the first time in the man's life that he has ever lived by himself. And I I find that hard hard to cope with as a daughter,
Mm,
you know? And the only reason he's even doing as well as he's doing is because I'm making sure that his bills are paid, that he has food in his refrigerator, that his apartment is halfway decent, you know? Actually getting him an apartment, like I can't imagine what his life, he would probably still be sleeping on his mother's couch or in his
wow.
car. And that makes me sad that, and again, this speaks to my faith. Um I have every reason under God's heaven to not speak to the man who allowed me to be on this earth, but I do because the person that I believe in talks about love and forgiveness. And at the end of the day, out of the 7 kids, I am my father's only daughter. And I feel that because my mother's been gone for 20 something years. It is my responsibility to take care of my father. He's making it hard because he won't leave Florida to come to New Jersey, but I'm making it work, right? I'm making it work. Every 3 months, I travel to Florida, make sure he's got food in his freezer, that I have meals prepared for him, that his apartment is clean, that all of his electronics are charged, that his TV is still logged into his streaming, you know. But that's what work is when you love people. Love is not a feeling, love is an action. And
Hmm.
we stopped loving people. We stopped doing for others because we were worried so much about ourselves. It makes me happy to be there for my father. Does he
Right.
deserve it? It doesn't really matter if he does or not. It's who I am. It's who I want to be. And I wouldn't want to be any other way. Have people hurt me? Heck yes. But that's a part of life. I don't learn any lessons if nobody ever slaps me in the face.
Right.
If I never fail, I never grow. I'm not ashamed to say that I've made many, many mistakes in my life, but I don't regret not one of them. And I would not change one thing in my life because if I did, I would not be La Doctora. I would be
You
somebody
got that
totally,
right.
totally different, and I may not like who I am. So some people um, mistake my kindness for weakness, and that's their mistake. Because let me tell you, I'd rather be the loving woman that I am than the bitter woman that are out there now. Am I
Hmm.
tired? Yes. But I have to know this. If people like me exist, if I exist, then others like me have to exist. People who value things have to exist. But how can I preach if I don't practice what I preach?
Right.
And everything that I say on this show is because that's how I live my life. It's what I believe, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you got to be true to yourself before you try lying to others. And
Hmm.
I know I've been doing all the talking today, and I
It,
apologize
it's it's
everybody.
it's 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 hey, they're loving it.
Oh, I'm
They're loving
glad.
it.
I'm glad.
They're loving it. Yep. Damn. I didn't even give this dude a male's perspective on what the fuck is going on with him. Oh man, what's this say right here? Hold on. Some people are just habitual line steppers, always trying to force your hand to be someone you don't want to be, forcing you to embrace your inner Satan.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? People hate the monsters they create.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. That's
Like,
yeah.
okay, so we were talking about my father. My father, before he came back into my life, he had been married for 36 years. I didn't know that when he came to my house, he was in the middle of a divorce, right?
Mhm.
But because he was having such difficulties with whatever was going on with his life, um, he was in a bad situation because he had already been trying to get divorced for a year. So it took me stepping in for him to finally get the process done. But the thing that disheartened me and really made me sad and angry at the same time is 36 years. That's a long, long time to be
Yeah.
married to somebody. And all he would do, even to this day, and it's been 2 years now, is talk about how she is the demon, how he should have never married her, how she was this and she was that and the other. And it makes me so angry because then I say to him, I said, Pop, I love you and I respect you, but you cannot sit here and tell me that she was such a horrible person that you stayed married to her for 36 years.
Hmm.
Why is it
Right.
Now you are hating a monster that you created. You were a part of that marriage. And I know you. Even though I didn't spend my life with you, I know you well enough to know that you are not an easy person to live with. And you are very selfish.
Mm.
So the fact that she stayed that long,
He said he said she didn't let him cheat in peace.
what was that?
She didn't let him cheat in peace.
You know what? That's funny because before he even got divorced, I mean, he was out. He was out of the house. She kicked him out. But the funny thing was, he moved in with my grandmother to supposedly help take care of her.
Mhm.
But because well, actually, all the men in my family, including my brothers, they don't like when people tell them about themselves or shine light on things that they don't want other people to know, right?
Mhm.
So as soon as you say something that they don't like, they act like children. They will either storm out of the house, cut you off and leave. Like they run away like little kids who are throwing tantrums, right?
Right.
So he was supposed to be living with my grandmom to help her because she's 98 years old.
Wow.
And she
Wow.
kept, yeah, and
God
she kept,
bless.
yes. And she kept falling and all that. So he was supposed to be staying with her to assist her, take her to her doctor's appointments, make sure she was safe, make sure she ate, like I'm doing for him now. Um, and every time she said something, and now she has dementia. So
Mm.
a part of that disease is they become angry and frustrated because
Yes.
they're lost. They they're losing their faculties, and when they're like consciously, you know, coherent, they realize what's happening to them and it makes them sad and angry. So combativeness is a part of the disease.
Yes.
So when my abuelita gets like that or tells him about himself, and it's not like she's lying, she's just telling him about himself, he gets so angry. He was leaving her apartment to go to other women's apartments. And he was still married at the time. Um, And when I found that out, it was because my grandmother had fallen. My uncle installed cameras and called me and said, "Where's your father? Because I just saw that my mom fell, and he's nowhere to be found." Right? Only to find out that he was staying in another woman's apartment in my grandmother's building. But that wasn't the only woman he was staying with. I'm like, dude, you are not even divorced yet. And you're already looking for somebody else to be up under. Like, I don't get it, Don Juan. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But you're sitting here talking about demon, that your ex-wife is a demon. But look what you're doing,
Right.
And on top of that, which really, really bothered me, he calls himself a Christian.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like he actually has a doctorate in theology. And my whole entire life, we spoke maybe once a year, my whole entire life. And all he would ever do would throw the Bible at me anytime I had a struggle growing up or whatever. It was because I didn't pray enough, because I didn't love God enough, whatever these
Right.
reasons are. And here I am, a grown woman, watching my father, who is still legally married, in Fulana de Tal's apartment, not taking care of his mother like he was supposed to, and totally
Right.
going against what he's preaching to everybody else. I'm like, can you say hypocrite?
Mhm.
But I still love him and I still take care of him. But I do tell him about himself. And I said, and now I dare you to go run away because this is your house.
Yeah.
So run away now, old man, and
That's wild.
see if I come back and take care of you.
That's wild. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. You
It
know what I'm
is.
saying?
It
It's
is.
not easy. It's not easy.
But for some reason, people think it's supposed to be.
Right.
But it's not. Life is not easy. But anything worth having is not easy to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, my brothers think that my life is easy because, all right, guys, I'm one of 7 kids and I'm the only one that graduated high school. And then I went to college. So now my siblings who are still around hate on me. They talk trash about me. Oh, you think you're better than me? No, I'm
That's
no.
that's the one thing they go to all the time. The first
Of
thing they go
course.
to,
Of
you think
course.
you better than me?
And my answer is nope. I am no better than you. I just made different decisions,
Yeah,
different choices. So don't get mad at me because the choices you made got you where you are, and the choices I made got me where I'm at.
yeah. He said insecurities.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I have always been there for everybody. Like anybody can call me and I'm there. I will always answer the phone for you. I don't reach out a whole lot cuz like I said, I'm a very highly sensitive person and I absorb people's energy and things like that. And you get tired of being the one who always reaches out. And so you get to a point in your life where it's like, listen, if people want me, they know where to find me. Like I said, I will always answer the door, I will always answer the phone. You just have to reach out for me because, I stopped reaching out a long time ago. So all this to say,
Oh shit! Oh my god! I'm sorry. I just had to do it. I just had to do it. Oh man. But but yeah. The reason why her mic went off was because she said if she would answer the phone if anybody called to call her. So I called her, and her phone rang, and it kind of cut it off. So that was my fault. I apologize. I was just trying to be a wise ass, and it backfired a little bit.
what happened? I disappeared.
No, when you said if anybody was to knock on my door, I'd answer the door. If anybody called, I'd answer the phone. So I called you.
Oh, you are such a butt. Because when you did that, then I couldn't hear no more and it kicked me out.
Yeah, yeah, I know it kind of backfired, but it was supposed to be funny. But yeah, but but
You
yeah,
think you're funny.
yeah, it's completely. I completely understand. I mean, it's terrible that that's how shit is nowadays.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
just where
mean?
we are. That's
You
where
know,
we
it's
are.
it's it's so bad. You know, and to think, and I'm not bashing your pops and them, but
Oh no.
when does it stop?
When he dies. Because the truth, and this is something, because I just came back. Me and my daughter just came back from our um, quarterly visit. And I realized something. All the things, because I go to this condo, I buy and spend all this money because he never lived alone, so he had to start from scratch.
Yeah, I
I
know what
had to
that's
buy,
like.
yeah, I had to buy silverware, all these things, right? And my thing is, my taste is not his taste, and vice versa. So I would always say, Pop, what do you want? What do you need? All this stuff, right? I buy all this stuff. So this last time I go over there and I go into the kitchen, washing dishes. I say, Papi, what happened to your dish drain? Oh, it's under the sink. I go into the bathroom. Papi, where's your toothpaste and toothbrush? Oh, it's in the medicine cabinet. Okay. Where did your soap dish go? Oh, I threw it out. Where are your towels? All this stuff I bought brand new. Where's your towels? Oh, they're too fluffy. I don't use them. I'm like, hold on. I spent thousands of dollars getting you all of these things, and you said, whatever you want, Mija, whatever you want. I do that, and you don't use any of it.
Right.
Your dish drains under the sink. He's like, oh well, because I just washed my dishes and put them away. Well, then when I asked you if you wanted this dish drain, you didn't say I don't want to drain. You say you want kitchen towels. I buy kitchen towels. What are they doing? They're hanging on the fridge. You don't even use them.
Right.
I bought him the, if any of you guys know, like BJ's, Costco, Sam's, all that. It's the bulk stuff. I buy him bulk toilet paper, bulk paper towels, so that they'll last at least every 3 months, so that when I go, I can buy more, right?
Yeah.
I go, he's got these dollar store paper towels on the table. And I'm like, Pop, where are the paper towels that I bought you? Oh, they're in my closet. Which closet? Oh, the closet where my clothes are hanging. Do you not like them? Like, they're paper towels, Pop. What? Like, I don't, and they're the good ones.
Right.
I'm like, I don't understand. Why are you buying dollar store paper towels, wasting more money when you have like a 30 pack in your
Wow.
closet? And the toilet paper, you have a 50 pack. Why are you buying these dollar store toilet paper? So, anyway, all that to say that I realized that he is who he is,
Right.
and that's not going to change. So, I need to figure out a different way of compromising and communicating with him to figure out what is going to help to make his life easier and not mine. uh because again, he's the one that won't take the doctor's medication but will call
Mm.
me because of something he saw on TV. Mommy,
Those
can you,
commercials, man.
yes, Ma, can you buy me this thing that I saw on YouTube? No, Pop, I'm not buying you monkey snot, shark fin, giraffe toenails. I'm not buying all this stuff. Take the medicine that the doctor gives you.
Monkey squat. Giraffe toenails. Oh my god.
I'm telling you. And the funny thing is, it's just the generation, because when we were visiting well, I call her my aunt, but it's my father's cousin. I literally sat there listening to them talk. They're like brother and sister,
Mhm.
and she's talking the same stuff. She's like, "Don't you know I had cancer, and they told me to have shark fin or whatever, and it cured my cancer?" I looked at her. I was like, "No, no, she didn't." She did. She's got my father thinking that these things he sees on YouTube, oh, it's crazy. It is crazy. But I definitely saw and understood something that I didn't understand before. But again, he hasn't been in my life, so I'm still
Right.
learning. I'm still learning him and how to deal with him.
Wow.
So it's been interesting. And that's a different,
Sounds
and
like it.
that's type of love
Sounds like
too.
it.
We
Yeah.
talk about relationships. Parent relationships are just as much a part of your intimate relationships as your friendships, you know? And we're just in a place right now where it's every man for themselves, you know? Every man for themselves, and it's becoming really sad and lonely, and just people hating each other, you know?
Yeah. It's
Things
terrible.
that were said to pass are passing. And yeah, we're in dire times, Corleone.
I get it. I get it. Um.
But
Yeah.
I sit in my
It's.
house and I drink my homemade iced tea and got turkeys and pies and all that, because tomorrow I will wake up and thank my Lord above for everything that I have, good, bad, and indifferent.
Mm, yep.
Even you, when you get silly on the show, I'm like, I'm thankful.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think it was gonna turn your mic off and boot you out. I didn't think it was
Lesson
gonna do all that. Lesson learned. Yes,
lessons learned.
lessons learned.
I can see people writing, but I don't know what they're
All right,
saying.
all right. Hold on. Let's start with Christina. Says he might feel like a dollionaire. I guess trying to say like a dollar millionaire going to the dollar store.
Oh, he refused. No, the funny thing is he goes there to get the toilet paper and all that stuff. But heaven forbid you buy him something like other than that from there. He will look at you like you have two heads.
Hmm.
Oh, I made pumpkin pie. I was thinking of an apple pie, but I don't know. There's only two of us here, so
Yeah.
a dollionaire. That is so funny. Oh, and I took off all of the doorknobs in his apartment, right? To
Why'd you do that?
well,
So
one
he don't
because
lock himself.
no, no, no. One because we were painting.
Mm,
We've been painting, but also because they're the old original brass knobs, and I wanted to um renew them
mm,
because they're quality doorknobs.
right.
Corleone, how did I go there? And he told me he threw them all away.
No.
I was so angry.
Quack, quack, quack,
I'm
quack.
because that's what he does. It's like I'm in the kitchen cooking. I leave stuff that I'm working on, right? Like I'm literally cooking. I go out to go get something, like a plate, or I go to put something on the table. I come back. He threw it away. I'm like, Pop, stop touching stuff. Oh, I
Yeah.
was just cleaning up. I'm like, oh my gosh. First of all, he forgets from 1 minute to the next. So it's like, how about you go have several seats and watch all of the things that I'm paying for you to watch on
Right.
my account and just chill, man. Chill. Turn on your hearing aids, sit down on the couch and calmate, bro. Like it's bad enough that all the food that I made for him and put in the freezer, he didn't even cook it.
Oh wow.
I went because I'm like, every 3 months, I'm going to go do the shopping. And I want to make sure he's got enough food for the 3 months. It's easy. You take it out, put it in the microwave because he refuses to use the stove. He didn't even do that. All the food I made is still in the freezer. I'm like, are you serious? But then I go and I serve him. So I'm cooking every night on top of cleaning and doing all this other stuff for him. And I'm like, wow.
Wow. Really quick. Really quick. We got the one I was talking about, the billionaire, the dollionaire. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Christina, you still in the room? Let me know you still in the room or not. I just want to make sure she's still in the room. Um, because I want to say something to her. So other than that, I'll wait to see if she lets me know she's still in the room. But yeah, I get it, and I think the older he gets, it's only going to get worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but wait until we get to the point where I have to take his license.
He's still driving.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm scared because he's getting in accidents and then blaming the other person. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So, Christina, she's still in the room.
Okay.
I wanna send my condolences, and the co-host of the show want to send our condolences to you. I know you recently lost, you know, a relative or your brother, and
Oh, I'm
um,
sorry to hear that,
I know,
Christine.
I know, I've known your brother a very long time. He's a Hoboken legend, you know what I'm saying, and may he rest in paradise. So we're sending our condolences to you and your family. So just stay blessed, and may he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to say that real quick.
And I will definitely be saying prayers for you tonight, Christina.
So yeah.
Mm. And so,
So
Eric, why are you asking me about my pie? Do you even live in New Jersey?
wow.
You're welcome, Christina.
Yeah. So I had some trivia stuff here, but I don't know. Well, maybe I should ask you a couple of these questions. Maybe let's see. I don't
Eric
know.
said, "Who P? What's that mean, Eric?"
I don't know. Yes, it was her oldest brother that passed. Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah.
I can definitely relate. I lost my older sister 9 years ago. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. So
He says, "Oh, I'm a lot closer."
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. A lot closer to what?
Oh, he's talking to Christina.
Okay.
Yeah. So
A cyber truck. Oh man.
oh wow. Damn. I'm sorry.
Yes, Eric. In Jersey, South Jersey, North Jersey, Central Jersey. There's a lot of Jersey here.
Now look, there is no central Jersey. It's
Yes,
either
there
north
is.
or south.
No, there
Let's
is
get that
Central
straight.
Jersey.
There is
No,
no
there
central.
is
It's
a
north and
Central
south.
Jersey.
No, there isn't.
Trenton is Central Jersey. New
Trenton,
Brunswick is
South
Central
Jersey.
Jersey. No,
South Jersey.
no, it's not.
Yeah. The cutoff is, I think, Edison. After
That's
Edison is South
North
Jersey.
Jersey.
That's
Get the
that
heck
that's
out of
all.
here.
No, that's all south. That's
No,
all
it's
south.
Central.
That's all
You know
south.
what? I'm not doing this with you, Corleone.
All right. All
We're
right.
gonna be beefing.
That's right. Um, really quick. So yeah, we're not gonna do we'll do trivia another time. So
Cause I was running my mouth.
no, not because you were running your mouth. The land of Taylor Ham.
Taylor Ham?
Yeah.
I don't know where that is.
North Jersey.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah,
I guess
because
I guess no pie for you, Eric Sanchez.
no pie. That sucks. Well, anyway, with that being said, oh, Central Jersey is a myth.
No,
It
it's
says.
not.
Oh man. Let's just give three things. I'll give three things. You give three things. What we're thankful for tomorrow.
Mm.
Three things. I looked at. What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for my life, my children, and my heart.
Hmm. Okay.
I can't stand pork roll. Get out of here.
Well, um, if we there's a couple people in the chat room, so if you guys would like to chime in and tell us what you're thankful for, you just give us one thing you're thankful for tomorrow, and then I'll tell you guys while you guys put it in there. I'm thankful for my children, grandchildren. That was just one. I'm thankful for my friends and the people I call friend, and I'm thankful to be able to do, what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really thankful for the show and for the connections we've made, and the the differences we've made in some people's lives, just doing what we do, and that's speak the truth, talk the truth, real life, real fun, real talk. That's what we do here, and I'm just thankful that we've been able to do that for people, and that's it. So, hopefully everyone out there has a great Thanksgiving full of family, food, football, and Stranger Things. So hopefully everybody can, has a good time. Everybody's happy, safe, healthy. And everybody stay, what's this? Oh, Mr. Akasella, appreciate you. I got mad love for you, bro. You know how we do here. Yeah, so with that being said, I hope everybody has a great and happy Thanksgiving. I hope that everybody, is with family and friends and loved ones. And I hope that everybody can enjoy the day. So with that being said, La Doctora, don't hang up.
Okay.
All right, you stay on. And yeah. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow, people. Plenty of food, plenty of time, plenty of a good time, plenty of fun. And with that being said, always keep in mind that at some point, people, this might hurt.
This might hurt.
Good night. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.